There's a type of person who prides themselves on always telling the truth. At dinner, the one who says what everyone is thinking. In a conflict, the one who doesn't play games. In a friendship, the one who gives it straight, no filter, no apology. Other people call them blunt. They call themselves honest. And they're not entirely wrong. The words that come out are usually accurate. But accuracy is not the same as honesty. And the gap between the two is where this video lives. Last time, who gets chosen to be close, and why comfort disguises itself as compatibility. Today, what happens once people are close? Specifically, what happens when someone uses truth as a tool for something that has nothing to do with truth? Here's the paradox. In the early 1970s, Sidney Girard published a book called The Transparent Self. His central argument was that genuine self-disclosure, telling people what's real, is the foundation of psychological health and deep connection. He was right. Honest expression builds intimacy. It creates trust. It signals safety. But Girard also noted something that gets left out of every summary. Self-disclosure only functions as connection when it involves mutual vulnerability. When one person discloses and the other receives, that's intimacy. When one person declares and the other absorbs, that's control. Same words, different architecture. And that's only the surface. Because I'm just honest, people almost always have one specific blind spot. They're honest about other people, about situations, about what went wrong, about what someone else should have done differently. The one subject they rarely apply their honesty to is themselves. Why they need to say the hard thing. Why it comes out the way it does. What it protects them from having to feel. That question, the one turned inward, is precisely where most self-described honest people stop being honest. 3 tests separate honesty that connects from honesty that controls. Not a judgment, a diagnostic. Test 1. Direction. When a person is being honest, who benefits? If the truth serves the person hearing it, gives them information they need, opens a door, solves a problem, that's a bridge. If the truth serves the person saying it, releases tension, establishes superiority, avoids a harder conversation, that's a wall. The distinction isn't in the content. It's in the direction. Most honest statements that begin with, "I'm just going to say it," serve the speaker, not the listener. The just is the tell. It means, I'm about to prioritize my comfort over yours and call it virtue. Test 2. Timing. Honesty that connects considers when the other person can receive it. A difficult truth delivered at the right moment lands differently than the same truth delivered the moment it enters someone's head. Bridge honesty waits. Not for comfort, for readiness. Wall honesty fires on impulse and calls the impulse not sugarcoating. Vose and colleagues at the University of Minnesota showed that unfiltered speech increases when self-control resources are depleted. People don't become more honest when they're tired or frustrated. They become less regulated. And they relabel the loss of regulation as authenticity. Test 3. Reciprocity, the critical one. A person who claims honesty as a core value, do they apply it to themselves with the same force? Can they say, "I was wrong about that," with the same ease as, "Here's what you got wrong"? Can they sit with someone else's honest assessment of them without defending, deflecting, or escalating? Anna Bruck at the University of Mannheim studied what she called the beautiful mess effect. People consistently rate vulnerability in others as attractive and courageous, and vulnerability in themselves as weakness and exposure. The result, a person can prize honesty in every direction except inward, and never notice the asymmetry. "I'm just honest" often means, "I'm honest about everything, except why I need to be. There was a conversation years ago. Unremarkable setting, kitchen table, late evening. Two people. One said something cutting, accurate technically. True, technically. But the delivery was surgical, not warm, not careful, just precise. And afterward, the person who said it felt better, lighter, relieved. That relief was the signal. Not that the honesty was wrong, but that the function of the honesty was release, not connection. The truth was a pressure valve. The other person was the vent. Kernis and Goldman at the University of Georgia studied the relationship between self-esteem structure and honest expression. Their finding reframes the entire conversation. People with secure, authentic self-esteem express honesty as disclosure, sharing what's real in a way that invites reciprocity. People with defensive self-esteem, high on the surface, fragile underneath, express honesty as assertion. Declarative, unilateral, delivered from above. The content may be identical. The posture is completely different. One opens a door, the other holds a line. But here's where it gets deeper. And this is the turn that most people in this audience won't expect. The honesty as wall pattern isn't cruelty. It's fear. Specifically, it's fear of the moment after vulnerability. A person who leads with bluntness never has to follow with softness. A person who says the hard thing first never has to risk saying the uncertain thing. I'm just honest is the most elegant avoidance of intimacy available, because it looks like the opposite. It looks like courage. It looks like directness. It looks like everything this audience values. And underneath it is the same mechanism that's been running through every video this month. A pattern built to protect, disguised as a personality. That's not honesty. That's a wall with a sign on it. And yes, that includes the version of this that showed up in Soren's own conversations for years. The one that felt like strength and worked like distance. The one nobody pushed back on because the delivery was too sharp for anyone to want to try. That's the cost. When the wall is built from truth, nobody questions the wall. One question. Not for others, for the honesty itself. Next time the urge arrives to say the hard thing, pause for 3 seconds and ask, is this for them or for me? The answer won't always change the words, but it will change the posture. And posture is where the difference lives. Month 1 is done. 8 videos. And if any of this landed, there's a thread. Avoidance wearing the mask of introversion. Hypervigilance wearing the mask of empathy. Trauma wearing the mask of identity. Unfinished business wearing the mask of anxiety. Comfort wearing the mask of connection. Bluntness wearing the mask of honesty. Same pattern, different costume. Next month, the thread tightens. And the question underneath all of it becomes harder to avoid.